What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Apple stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. Before we do that though, a couple quick announcements. First things first, if you like what I'm using here, I'm using Webull. I know a lot of you guys have asked about that. Link will be in the description. And the second thing is that I've noticed the person who is commenting on my videos is back. It looks like it's me. Their name is the exact same as mine. If you see someone talk about either Bitcoin or reach out to me on WhatsApp, it's not me. Don't fall for it. I'm never going to tell you to reach out to me for financial advice. I'm never going to tell you to invest in Bitcoin or to give someone money to invest in Bitcoin for you. So don't fall for that. It looks exactly like me. Typically you'll know if it's me or not because I'm not trying to sell you anything, but just, you know, it looks so similar to mine. They've copied my logo and name. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. So wasting no more time, let's get right into it. Not a great day trading, you guys, overall. Not a great day for Apple stock overall as well. We are down another $3 on the day, which is about 2.45%. The only Apple specific news that I saw was Arizona passing a bill that threatens Apple and Google's app stores. I don't personally think that, that news is big enough to really move it in one way or another. But, that being said, I think it has to do with big tech rotation continuing, the jobs data, and money being moved into more kind of the pandemic, the stocks that were kind of down in the pandemic, right? So again, Apple down 2.5%, pretty in line with what we saw with the Nasdaq, which is down 2.7%. And then the Dow Jones was down 120 points, which is about 0.38%, and the S&P 500 was also down 1.32%. So red across all indexes, not looking too good. So let's take a look at how Apple stock traded today. We'll talk about future levels of support, future levels of resistance, to see if we can get an indication of where it's headed. So right out of the gate, you guys, it did not look, in pre-market yesterday, yesterday we closed in the 125s. Pre-market, we pushed up pretty similar to, actually, if you guys remember yesterday's video, right? Not yesterday, the day before. Yeah, we pushed up to the next level, and that day we kind of took off from there. However, today when we pushed up to the next level, we got rejected and we were under it, and then we sold off. Little quick push at the beginning like Apple does, but typically that's not lasted, and then we go the opposite way. Here we did get a bounce briefly, try to push up, made it above VWAP for a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, maybe like half an hour. Sold off, try to bounce again, this time getting rejected by VWAP here, and then we sold off all the way to 121.84, which is about what, 36 cents away from where our level is, and then we kind of went sideways into the close, closing right at 122.06. A couple things that I want to point out to you guys. First things first, right? RSI is still 37. 30 is considered to be overbought. We're approaching that territory really, really fast. Obviously with the push up we saw from 2 days ago, we've seen 2 days of declines again. We are now, yesterday, although it was a red day, we made a higher high, higher low. We've now made a lower high and a lower low, so not looking too good there. Couple other things I want to point out that are not looking too good, because I like to point out both sides. Look, do I think Apple's going to go to 150? Absolutely. I don't think that that's happening right now, and I have no indication of something telling me that we are going to see that even like next week, right? Or next couple weeks. Once we get a reversal and it starts pushing up, then I can tell you, hey, I think we reach 145 in like, I don't know, a couple days, right? If we are getting close to that, we're going through resistance. Clearly you can see here, we can't even break through the darn like 126 resistance since we've been below it. So that's what I'm doing, guys. That's what my channel is. We look at support and resistance. I don't talk just theoretical. Apple's going to explode because of this. Clearly, Apple has had great earnings, and it's not doing, I'm not going to curse on camera, but it's not doing much, right? So that's what I'm focusing on, you guys. Let's take a look at future levels of support, future levels of resistance. Maybe we get an indication of where it's headed, right? So first things first, on the downside, there's a couple things that I'm watching. The first one being this 121.48 level, which we're pretty close to. So if we break below it like we did a couple times here, I think we could fall all the way to this trend line here, which is in the 119s. But, you know, if we take a look at the past 2 times, other than this one time that we were below it, that we fell really fast and recovered really fast, if we drop below it, you know, the past 2 days we had a low of 120.20 and 120.54. So I'm hoping that if we drop below this 121.48, it's like these times where it gets bought up and we don't fall all the way to this 119 level. But I do think that, you know, we definitely have run room down there. On the upside, you know, the first level is this 123.69 that we broke below. Then it's today's high of 125.71, which also happens to be really darn close to our 89 exponential moving average, which is now at 125.95. And then our next level is this 126.65. Once we clear that, 128 is the next level we're looking at, the 128 kind of 50s. So that's what I'm looking at on the upside: 123.69, 126.65, and 128.50s. Let me, you know, be 100% honest with you guys. The market is looking relatively weak. Like I said, all the indexes are red. The good news is we are getting oversold, so maybe we see a buy coming soon. That being said, I don't see any indication. I'm hoping that tomorrow is a reversal day, right? Definitely hoping for that after the amount we've sold off in the past 2 days, hoping that we see some buying come in. But that being said, there's still inflation concerns that are kind of, you know, looming there. So I don't know if we see that, but, you know, that's why I'm pointing at the levels. My goal, if everything works according to plan, we maybe go down to this 121.48. We either see a bounce here or maybe slightly below it, and we start to push up, maybe get to the 123s, and then hopefully make somewhere between, you know, the 123 and the 126.65. I hope we get past 165, but realistically, you know, anywhere between this to end the week over the next 2 days would be good kind of progress to see. As long as we have green days and we're making higher pushes, that's what I'm looking for right now. The other thing I want to point out is this 89 exponential moving average. You guys, I've pointed out multiple times. We've gone down to it a couple times over the past few years, but haven't really ended below it like we have in this past week. The last time we did that, if we scroll back all the way, you know, past the pandemic, of course, is this May 2019 time period where we sold off from, you know, 50s to 40s, split adjusted, of course. And that's when we were down, you know, for a few, for I think 2 weeks total. And then we started to reverse. So I'm hoping that, you know, that happens here for us soon. That is kind of that last level of support that I look at whenever I'm looking at a stock, is that 89 exponential moving average. I'm really hoping that we can push up. That level right now is at 125.95, which I definitely think is doable. But I do want to point out kind of this downside from the past, from the lows of the past week. Hoping for a green day tomorrow, while understanding that we could still see some red before we see that green. The other thing I want to point out is take a look here. Same pretty much scenario as last week. This is 225, so late last week. Talked about this, and the next day we fell down, right? So again, we are in this weird spot where, like we were right here, where we are not above the 34 and we got run room down to the 55 exponential moving average. So again, same thing here. It depends on what the S&P 500 wants to do. As you can see, we ended pretty darn close to the low of day, whereas here we pushed up a little to close compared from the lows. So do we go down to visit the 55 exponential moving average, which is another probably % drop or so? Potentially. Now, the great thing for last week was that we went down to visit it. We were strong. We bounced off of it. One thing I want to point out is it doesn't have to bounce, right? It has bounced here back in late January and it bounced here late in February. But if it doesn't bounce there, then I think we have run room down to the 89 EMA, as we did back in October 2020, just a few months ago, right? And back in September 2020 as well. So just want to point that out. There could be still a little bit more downside before we start to see that upside. I like to point out both sides. I'm bullish on Apple, holding my shares. I do have one call going out to July as well, and I'm down a decent amount on that, to be 100% honest. The reason I'm holding is because, I mean, I think I've lost a lot of what I could lose, selling covered calls against it to see if I could maybe recoup some of that. So again, same thing with the Nasdaq. We have run room down to the 89 EMA. Last time we bounced off the 55. We're now deep below the 55. So whether we see a reversal tomorrow or we go down to visit that 89 like we did back in September and October will be what I'm watching the next couple of days. I do think, I'm hoping for a green day tomorrow, but again, nothing's guaranteed, and we do still have the downsides that I kind of showed you guys, right? So hoping for a push up, maybe we end the week in the 125, 126s, while realizing that we could go down a little bit before we start to rebound. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.